Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a great day today. It's a nice sunny morning in Melbourne this morning, so I'm out on another walk. Today I want to talk about dealing with negative people in your life. We all have people in our lives that are negative, and the risk is that they can infect our thinking and make us negative, and we don't want to do that. We want to try to keep as positive as we can. So I want to talk about 10 different strategies you can use to stop that negativity, stop them overtaking your life. So I hope you enjoy this. So the first step is you've got to recognise the negativity patterns. Negative people usually have a pattern where they talk not only about one subject, but lots of different subjects that are negative. And they focus on that rather than focus on trying to be positive or trying to come up with solutions. You know, they might whinge about their work or their other people at work or, you know, different family members, but they're constantly focusing on the negative and not focusing on what they can do to fix the negative. So that's the first one. You've got to recognise the patterns in those negative people. So the next point is when you realise that you're dealing with a negative person, or you're going to be dealing with a negative person, set boundaries. So for example, you can say, I've only got 10 minutes to talk today, or 15 minutes at the most. So if you know you're going to be dealing with someone that's negative and they want to spend half an hour or an hour just complaining about different things, trying to infect your thinking, then set boundaries on it. So look, I'm pretty busy today, I can only talk for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, and then stick to those time limits. So don't be drawn in where you end up spending way longer than you had hoped to, just focus and dwelling on all the negative things that they want to talk about. So set boundaries. The next point is practice emotional detachment. So don't let them infect your thinking by their negativity. So mentally keep a distance. Keep emotionally detached from what they're saying. Listen to it, accept that that's the way they think, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to think like that. So just keep your own perspective on the situation and know that it's just their way of looking at it. Doesn't mean you have to look at the situation in the same way. So that's the next point. The next point is try to direct the conversation in a more positive direction. So if you've got someone that's complaining about their job, for example, they're whinging about what's happening at work, their job, ask them what their ideal career would be. If they could do anything they wanted, what's their ideal career look like? How do they want to work? Where do they want to work? What sort of role they want to do? So instead of focusing on all the things they don't want and whinging about the negativity, redirect the conversation in a way that's more positive. So try to guide them to think a different way. It might not work, but at least you're putting a stop to the constant negativity. So that's a good strategy to work on. The next point is try to surround yourself with positivity or positive people. There's lots of people that you talk to or that you know that have got a positive outlook on life, and they strive to be more positive. And then you've got the other side that are constantly complaining about different things and being very negative. So you've got a choice of who you want to spend time with. So choose to spend time with people that are more positive. You'll be much happier if you do that, that's for sure. So don't always choose to spend time with these negative people. And as I said earlier, if you do, limit the time that you spend with those people. So put a time limit on it. The next point is prioritise the time you spend doing positive things for yourself. So positive things for your mood, positive things for your own physical well-being. Go for walks, go for runs, go to the gym, do positive things. Don't just sit around watching TV or doing things that aren't physical. Get out and go for a bike ride. There was lots of people recommending cycling on my last video, which was great. So lots of people get out there and ride their bikes. If you don't like that, go for a walk, do something active. Get out in nature like I'm at today. As you can see, I'm walking through another beautiful park today. Sun's shining, it's great to be out here doing this. Another good tactic when you're dealing with negative people is to use what they call the grey rock method. So you act like a grey, uninteresting rock. So don't give any fuel to their negativity. Don't put fuel on the fire. So just respond with very sort of blasé type, uninterested conversation. Don't get sucked into it, don't get engaged. Just seem sort of very uninterested, and then sooner or hopefully they'll get the point that there's no use really talking about this subject with you because you're not really interested, you're not paying it any attention, you're not trying to get involved in the conversation, you're not putting fuel on the fire. So that's a very good tactic. People will catch on pretty quick that they're not getting the feedback that they were hoping for, or the reinforcement that they were hoping for. The next point is maybe still try to understand where they're coming from. What's causing all this negativity? There must be a reason, and maybe when you find out the reason, you can offer suggestions of how to change it. Instead of just complaining all the time, suggest maybe a couple of changes. Don't get too engaged though, like I said before, but that way you can sort of understand a little bit and give them a bit of empathy, but you don't want to give them too much because that fuels the fire and they'll just keep on piling on. So try that tactic and see how you go. So the next point is to assert yourself a little bit. Tell the person that because they're constantly being negative, it's starting to drag you down. You're feeling their negativity and it's having an impact on your life. So sort of spin it around a little bit, put it back on them. So, I'm really struggling now. I feel very negative because of all your problems. Your problems are affecting me. And just see what they have to say about that. Hopefully they're going to realise that they're overdoing the negativity and might slow it down a little bit. But you've got every right to say that. If it is affecting you, starting to affect you, tell the person that their negativity is having a negative impact on yourself. And the final one is you've just got to know when enough is enough. So, you cut off communication with that person. You tell them that, the negativity is too much. It's not helping you at all. It's actually draining you, putting a downer on your own life, making you depressed. So you're going to distance yourself from that person. And that's what it might come down to. You might have to do that. But you've got to look after yourself. Number one, you've got to look after yourself. That other person's got to do the work to try to get out of that negativity themselves. You can't help them. You can talk to them, but at the end of the day, it's up to them. So you don't want to take on the responsibility for making them happy, making them positive. It's up to them. You can point them in the right direction, but at the end of the day, they have to do it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'd love to hear your comments. I'm sure there's going to be lots of comments to this one. The video that I did, excuse me, a couple of videos ago, it's coming up to 400,000 views, which is fantastic, and over 3,000 comments. I love to hear the comments from people and the interaction. So please comment, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I'd really appreciate that. And lastly, make sure you have a great day today. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.